Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from everyone's favorite Halo YouTuber. I'm Rehab, your favorite Halo YouTuber, and today we're going to be reacting to the Halo Infinite competitive settings reveal. We've been waiting a long time to see what we're going to be playing with in competition, what the pros are going to be playing with. I'm really excited. I always prefer HCS settings, whether it be, hopefully BR starts. All we have right now is this little teaser. It's right here. Looks like BR starts, getting teased, maybe. We're going to see the starting weapons, what's going to be on the map, and kind of just the layout for what they have with the HCS settings. So let's jump into it. All right, it's starting. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, 0. Blood, language, violence. Rated T.
Hey,
confirmed.
what's up, everyone? I'm Bravo, and I've snuck my way back inside the 343 Industries studio to check out
You don't
the world
work here
premiere
anymore,
of
bro.
ranked and competitive gameplay, and I have the two best gentlemen to do it with me here. It's L-Town
And
Sal,
I don't know
of course,
that
of the
guy.
Competitive Insights team, longtime pro
Andrew
player.
Witts.
Great
How'd
to
I
be
not
with
know?
you again, man. And also, Andrew
Can't
Witts,
believe I
lead
forgot his
designer
name.
on Halo Infinite. Guys, it's great to be with you today. I want to jump right in, because like we said, the world premiere here of competitive
in top
and ranked
settings here?
settings, and we're going to have gameplay in just a moment. But before we get into that gameplay,
that would've
Andrew, I'd
been
love to
bad.
talk a little bit about the philosophy
right.
of ranked and competitive gameplay
1080.
for Halo Infinite.
We looked at competitive settings the same way that we looked at the rest of the game. Like we kind of talked about it. We wanted to be very, very Halo to its core, right? And like uphold
Very
the
Halo.
pillars
Love
of
to
Halo.
hear that.
We really wanted to make sure that the competitive settings felt like competitive Halo, felt like home. Battle rifle starts
Competitive.
only, no secondary weapon,
BR starts, love
no
it.
motion
Let's
tracking,
go.
and
No
grenade
radar?
ticks. So those are the baseline settings across the game.
Let's
For
go.
maps, we have a static curated spawns. We've worked with the competitive insights team to make sure that
Static
the scavenging
spawns.
story on maps is really strong and facilitates map control. We want to make sure the team that wins is the team that should win.
Sure.
Yeah.
You'll have to excuse me because I'm containing my excitement here, and I know a lot of
Ooh, I'm so hyped
fans of
about
competitive
that.
Halo over the years will be really excited to hear about these settings
Dope
too,
settings.
and also to see them in action. So I think let's go ahead and jump right into the gameplay
Let's see
right
it.
now. Of course, L-Town, this is going to be your
Let's see
gameplay that you've
L-Town
been so kind to share with us.
destroy
This
the
is going
rest
to
of
be
the
a full
office, right?
pro team competitive insights gameplay, which is pretty
L-Town
cool
was
to see
nasty
kind of
back
all of you
in
guys
Halo
who've been
5,
going
dude.
at each other over the years, playing a game
Mick
now
would
here at
work.
Stronghold and Recharge.
This is my work gamer
Those
tag.
of you who've been playing in the Halo Infinite Flight weekends will, of
Aries.
course, have
You
been able
work
to get
that
your
too?
hands on this exact game type, but we're going to now see it for the first time from
That's
a competitive POV with competitive settings, of course, also with some pro player.
This is gonna be
point of
way
view. So
different
Sal,
than what
walk
we
us through the
played.
opening here, Strongholds on Recharge.
So this is Strongholds. Obviously, you have to go for the other Strongholds, but we're going for mid control here and camo. And my teammates are mid
Nice
map.
nades,
It's kind of
bro.
forcing those two players into me. I get the easy
Triple
double.
kill.
I get the
Free
triple as
kill.
well.
Where is it?
And
piece.
apparently, I get the overkill too. Yes, I
Let's
do.
go,
So not a
overkill.
bad start.
Exterm.
Complete control, and now I'm capping C.
Not bad at all. Not
Great
bad at all.
cap, Sal.
I'm wondering, I mean, you know these guys pretty
L-Town
well.
down.
I don't know if any cash was exchanged to allow you to open up with an overkill here on this world premiere of competitive gameplay, but
Okay.
Excited to be able to
forget
look
what that
at
gun's
this
called, the
gameplay
pistol
here. I
thing,
think
the brute
one of the
pistol?
first things that we, of course, want to talk about is
not
that
the
Stronghold as a
mauler.
game type. Now, you were just talking about game
Brawler.
modes, Andrew, and the fact that we have a little bit of
Something
different
like
scoring
that,
mechanics
I
here, which
forget.
make a big difference in terms of the endgame.
Strongholds is returning from Halo 5. Really thought that it did very well in Halo 5 and it was well regarded
So
in the
the-
competitive community. So we want to
Okay,
iterate
so
on
it's
it in
being
meaningful ways.
contested, so we
One of those
can't
meaningful
score.
ways is how
That's
to
weird.
contest and how scoring works. In Strongholds, when you own 2 zones, you begin scoring. And now if the enemy team captures any progress towards one of your zones,
So you get
it
2
stops
points
your
every
scoring
second.
run. So that way, you need
it's
to
probably up
maintain
to 200
absolute
still.
control over all of your captured zones to continue
I
scoring.
got the grapple shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
I want to see
it's
him
a
shoot this pistol.
great change, and anyone who played a lot of Halo 5 or watched a lot of Halo 5 Strongholds will remember scenarios where they had all the pieces in place to maybe get a perfect comeback, and even though they were halfway through the cap on that Stronghold, they needed, as you called it, like the drip time allowed the other team to win, and it felt a little bit
So you can,
anticlimactic,
if you're
I think a lot of people
capping,
have
it's
already seen
contested and
in
you
the
don't
Halo Infinite
score.
Flight.
It's
The
so
ability
weird.
to stop everything on the dime and come back is pretty fantastic to see. Another thing we'll talk about
So
here,
you
of
have to,
course,
make
is
sure they're not
equipment. Sal, we're
capping.
already seeing you kind of use that equipment and make sure that you're using grapple to be everywhere you need to be on the map.
It's definitely different.
Yep, just making sure
Something
I'm
to
getting
get used
resets and
to.
Strongholds and helping my team by getting those quick flanks and quick routes.
Another thing we should talk about, of course,
Ooh,
is such a big piece of this that we're going to
almost.
see is just the fact that we have
Almost
motion
didn't
tracker
get that
disabled and
kill.
how that impacts moment-to-moment gameplay throughout the entirety.
No
of
motion
competitive play.
tracker
You're going
is
to see a lot of
key.
examples of that, of
Not
course,
even
in this
for,
game,
like-
but we should talk.
I
dive
thought they were
into
gonna
also
have it
the
for,
use
like,
of
grapple
the
shots,
decision
sprint,
there
stuff like
and
that.
just how much that impacts the gameplay.
I'm happy to see
we
no
really
radar.
wanted,
You
the
know,
game
nothing.
to be as competitive as possible, working with
Nothing to
the Insights
complain
team
about
to
so far.
Kind of make sure we measure up in that regard, and part of the things, one of the things we wanted to kind of focus on was awareness, right? Awareness and communication being really pivotal to which is the better team that wins. So that's why we pursue that direction, and you'll see a lot of the outcomes here in terms of how that rolls.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Sal, you put it best when we were talking
Make
earlier
one
just
work.
before we
Cleans it
started
up.
recording, just
Make
talking about
win.
information
Make win.
earned, and the fact that
Given versus earned.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
So it
just how
sounds like
important
they
that is.
are listening
so
to
we
everyone.
wanted
I'm happy to
players
hear that.
actually have to go out of their way and
That's
get
kind of like
info
what
themselves
everyone
versus, like,
wanted, at least in
an
the
indicator
competitive
or
community.
UI telling you where players are and how weak they are. So it's just more awareness and more.
I feel like the
skills and
quality
more
of the video is
thought
getting
process on
worse as I'm watching, dude.
Absolutely. As we take a look here, 70 to 56, still a pretty close game here. As you're going to go ahead and get another reset here, but you guys are doing pretty well in terms of just ability to continually rotate and collapse on the opponent as well.
Yep, just
Great
using some good comms
rotations.
here,
3-4-3
collapsing
team,
on strongholds
pro
together,
team players.
and nice bait and switching going on right here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think another thing we
Bait
should
and
talk about
switch,
too,
yard
as you're gonna
sale.
go ahead and get this kill.
Just
Back
kidding.
Hydro,
Oh,
you're gonna
there's a
pick up
sword on the
some
map?
sword and some equipment play, so it's probably a
Oh.
good opportunity to talk about some of the equipment.
see
balance
that.
in the game.
So right here I pair repulsor and sword.
Ooh, that
to
was
use-
sick
To
play.
get some creative shortcuts here. And
Right.
That guy had no idea. So that movement, that shortcut.
That's
mixed
the
in
like
with
the
no,
benefit of having
motion
the
tracker.
pro team, you know.
This allows you
They
to
do
make big
nerdy
plays
stuff like
honestly.
that that
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many
obviously
pieces to talk about there. Just the fact that you can
general
creatively go
community is
from
not going to do.
bottom
And
middle
that's like
all the
important
way
for
up to
competitive
top
settings,
eight,
getting
like
it
that
right,
with the sword.
making
Like
sure
you
you
said, if
have,
someone is watching
you know, the
motion
right
tracker in a
settings
competitive
for
setting, they're going to be watching that
competitive
doorway. That play doesn't really happen in those settings, so it's pretty fantastic to see.
Although,
And by the way,
I don't
everyone
know
is
who that
running
guy
away from
is.
you with their
Greg.
heads down at this point in the game as you're racking up.
I don't know why he
even
just
more
ran.
kills, but that
Didn't
brings
look.
us perfectly actually to a
Probably
camo
could have
pickup.
shot
And
him, you know.
The first thing we'll talk about here is just the
Not
new
gonna go
mechanic
back
injury.
for that
Of course, people have
repulsor?
seen it, but it's worth talking to you as lead designer on
sword.
the decision there. To,
The
of course,
ultimate combo.
in conjunction with the sandbox team to make sure that
I
the
didn't
camo
know
is actually
Ares worked for
pocketable. You can
3-4-3.
determine
When did
when
that
you want
happen?
Yeah, the Sandbox team did an awesome job working on the power equipment in this game, and so being able to pocket,
Yeah, I'm a fan of the
power
Sandbox,
equipment and
guys.
taking the spot of other equipment
I'm a
really brings
converted.
more agency in terms of how you want to
I wasn't
use
a fan when I
these
first
items to
saw
your
it,
advantage,
you know.
right? And also
I was
hard
nervous
decision
about
making.
the
It was always about making
the
a million
grapple
decisions,
shot and
like
all,
having a
but
million
after
decisions
playing
to
it, man,
do
I
in
love
a
it.
given second,
I'm
right?
excited about
And
the
what's
things we
best
can
one.
do.
And this kind of adds to that, right? Is do I swap grapple shot for overshield? And do I use it now and then pick the grapple shot back up? What do I do? What is my combinatory
Always pick it
effects
back
with
up,
based
right?
on what
Pop
my
the
current
camo,
inventory is?
pick up,
Do I mark it for
grapple.
the other teammates?
You can hurt
to
your
kind of pick
teammates,
up and
B.
test
Remember
with?
that.
These are the kind of questions we asked of ourselves. And
After playing
ultimately
social
you see it today
matchmaking,
is
I'm not going to
look
be
through
used to
those
that.
levers, right, and
I'm
make
just
sure that
blowing
we test
rockets
that
at my
hypothesis
teammates'
before.
feet.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to see. Just the term equipment on its own in the history of competitive Halo has been kind of
Static
a,
spawns is
a
huge
term
for
that
the
has,
power
had
weapons
an ebb
too.
and flow over the years. So how does
Fan of
equipment
that.
fit or not fit into competitive Halo? So to see how much it's not only being accepted, but I would even say embraced with things like clips on Twitter, Twitch, etc.
So do they? I wonder if they have the power weapon. It looks like
yeah.
so there is an energy sword
How
marker.
you found this sweet spot balance
know
with
if
the
it
equipment
shows
that's in the game that gives players some
the countdown timer and all.
We wanted to make sure that the equipment added to the skill of the game, right? That's the skill gap and then the skill ceiling.
Yeah.
So the combinatory effects of, like we said
Add
before
to
with
it.
Sal, with the repulsor as well as
Dude,
the
I wanna
energy
play this
sword,
so
right?
bad. I
Like,
wish we
the
got to
ability
play these
traverse
settings,
the map the way
man.
he did
Oh.
adds that skill, both for newcomer players and also
Thank
pro players
God they
themselves.
aren't
The
going to make me use that
experimentation, the
stupid
expression
sidekick pistol
was
all the time.
really important for us in development in terms of adding these things in and them fitting in with everything else in the sandbox.
Grab the camo. Making plays, Sal.
Here's another camo pickup. Sal, you guys have really been on top of.
Oh, he's
that
just
camo
trying to dodge
and
and he's not
activated
stuck in this
immediately,
corner.
and
Yeah.
Probably the most interesting thing to talk
Tough.
about there, right, is the lack of grenade hit markers that player would have
No
had. in
grenade
that
hit
situation.
markers.
Exactly. So that player
let's
actually had no
go.
idea how much damage he was
They
actually
turned
doing,
off
or if
grenade
he
hit
was even hitting
markers.
me.
Yeah.
He had to go out of his way to make sure that I was weak and get the kill on me. My play right there was to make him waste as much time as possible and to
Milk.
put him in a spot where my teammates
Old
could
Town
get
the
clean up
milkman.
straight on him.
Absolutely, and that's a situation that plays out completely differently with both motion tracker and grenade hit
Dude,
markers on.
I'm riding
also
the high
forces
right
that player
now.
to even
I'm
spend
so
those, right?
hyped.
So it really
And I wanna
changes
play
the way
these
that
settings so
plays
bad.
out. It allows you to have so much more power as a player there. You're burning camo,
want to play.
you're spending that player's grenades, and you're also taking that player out of the situation. There's probably at least going to be a trade there, and it really changes the way that all that plays out.
Kill
Absolutely.
assist.
Another thing I'd love to talk about here as we see more continuous control from Sal and Team Andrew is also just the dynamic between, of course, we've got the BR utility weapon that so many players will be excited to see, but we're also seeing Sal use a lot of Mangler. We're seeing some Commando. How you guys really thought about the dynamic
Mangler is
between
what, like a
this
4-shot
utility
kill, it
weapon
seems
is
like?
really important, and it is
Slow
such a core
fire
part
rate,
of the
though?
gameplay. However, the weapons on the battlefield are also a big piece as well.
You got to make
Yeah,
sure
I think
you're
the
using
sandbox team
everything
did a
in the
really excellent
sandbox.
job of making sure that all the weapons have a
Abuse
specific
it.
role.
Use it,
in the
abuse
game.
it,
The
or
battle
lose
rifle
it.
being the utility weapon
Mangler, that's what
is really
it's called.
important to being for
what
players
was that
to
called?
being
Brawler?
viable off of spawn,
Smaller
right?
brawler?
Them having expression off of spawn.
Mangler.
But we didn't want to have scavenging is so important to the
Haven't
game,
gotten to use it
right?
yet,
So we
but
wanted to keep on having them scavenge
whatever.
the battlefield. How
Looks
we
cool.
did that was we took away that secondary weapon slot and have it be free, so it's only the battle rifle off of spawn. And so optimizers will want to fill their inventory, fill their pockets
Fill it
in
with
order
something,
to
right?
be able to be
Especially
as
if you need to
effective as they
reload and
possibly
finish
can
off a
in
kill.
match. So going with that scavenging story of the map being very curated with very specific items and toys in the map,
ER
and filling up their inventory is
man.
super important.
I couldn't be happier. I'm honestly surprised they didn't make the
Absolutely. We've seen another
sidekick
camo grab here from
secondary.
Sal as well.
You know, start with two
This time I
weapons.
live.
Nice job there. Going to be able
I
to.
I don't know if I would have
to get
minded
away
that.
and also,
like,
you know,
I
of
feel
course,
like
be able to
I
go
would've been
away
like,
now with
whatever,
a
that's
grapple camo mangler, which is a pretty sweet
because
setup as
it's
well.
probably a
Pretty
better
ideal.
weapon at close range,
what I do
and the
with it.
BR is hard to use
Yeah,
at
see,
close range.
At this point,
at
of
least
course,
with the
it's right now
controller.
216 to 137.
So
And
that'll
one thing
be
worth talking
close
about
range
with
BRing
that new
is gonna
scoring
be a,
mechanic, Sal, is- one
decent
sec.
skill gap,
Got a
I think,
contested
in my
stronghold.
opinion.
Let's see how you play this one out. Okay, well done. Takes down the first player.
Gonna
and
be
go ahead and finish
keyboarders
that
making
cap.
their run.
Oh, almost finish it, but instead go ahead and
Howdy.
Nice
That was
grapple
great.
out.
You made it right in the window. So
Yeah, it's okay,
unfortunately,
it's
there was a guy
One
there.
thing we should talk about though at this point, because even though there's quite a gap, quite a delta between the scores.
Okay, so score
in the
was going
game,
up while they were
you
capping.
really can't take your foot off the gas. Whereas in Halo 5, you might be a little more comfortable because you know you have, as long as you have control with X amount of time left, you're probably going to win the game. But with the ability to stop everything, like we said earlier, immediately while just stepping into a stronghold, that kind of
Okay.
changes the way that competitive teams will play the late game. Of
I was
strongholds.
wrong. So stepping in the
Especially with
stronghold
new rule
will
set where
stop
you
the
can contest
timer.
and stop the pausing for a little bit. Like you can't let your foot off the gas. You gotta try to.
I don't
close
know
out
how I
the
feel
game
about
here,
that,
so
but I'll have to
just
play
making
more.
sure we keep up the comms and the teamwork. Just
Look
pushing
how
strongholds
bad the
together.
buffering's getting,
Yeah,
dude.
absolutely. And you've done it
The
so
quality
well.
of
Well,
this
take a look at
video
this
is
play
going
as well,
downhill.
as you're going to go ahead.
My
and
high
grab
quality production value videos, guys.
Unlucky.
Reacting
Unlucky
to the
indeed, but
Halo Infinite
it's just worth noting
competitive
the fact that
settings
you do
reveal.
have kind of that creativity, right? I mean,
Supposed to be
never has there
working.
been in competitive Halo a
Not
a
doing
moment
much
like
work
that where
right
you
now.
can fly out of
Sorry.
the door and fly
team.
into an entryway like that and be able to just set up a play like that. So it's pretty special to see, and the fact that it is balanced the way that it is, right?
Oh, shock
I'm
rifle.
sure was quite a challenge, Andrew, for a long time, I'm sure.
Yeah, we tested a lot of different things, a lot of different settings, but we wanted to make sure that the things like the grappler,
Two-shot
and really all the
beatdown?
equipment
Okay.
had that expression element, right? The things that are powering all those clips that you're seeing on the internet, we're seeing that, we're all gleefully seeing on the internet. We want to make sure that it's important
Get
for
out of there
expression with
nice
equipment.
and quick.
I want to do this, I want to do this and this. I want to repulse somebody and then follow up with that mangler melee. and things like that.
mangler.
I want to put somebody into a
Maybe
wall.
it's a
knock them off
one-shot
the map.
melee with the mangler?
Expression is just paramount for some of the designs.
I didn't
we've
see
done.
like any clean kills.
Certainly, I've
It's hard
seen
to
some
tell how
expression in the
much
forms
damage
of
it
being
does.
repulsed off the back of Silo there by the hammer many
feel like
times in
it's,
matchmaking. I've also been on the receiving end of overshield grappling
actually.
hammer players on Behemoth, so I've
Whiff.
definitely seen different forms
It's
of
a
that
one
expression
body shot
on
after a
Twitch.
melee. That's
Getting the
cool.
better
It is
of
a
me,
one-shot melee
throughout
unless
these
that guy was hurt.
weekends. As we take a look at these last few
Cleat.
seconds here, Sal, closing it out.
Is
I
that
think we're going
assault?
to see
Is assault work there
in just
too?
a moment. You guys close
All
this
the
out.
Opros
Yes, some
just work
celebratory
for
needler
3 for
shots
3?
to end the game. What better way to finish a match as well? 250 to 170 is our final score there.
26
Sal, you
kills
guys
out of Sal.
ended out on top. A pretty strong performance, I'm not going to lie.
Strong performance. Love that.
We'll go
out
ahead and
of
take a look at the
Team Sal.
post-game Carnage report too, because there's some sweet PGCR stats, and some
Hang 'em
people will
high.
have seen a little bit of this in the post-game Carnage reports in the flighting, but a few things that are worth highlighting.
26
there. Of
and
course,
8,
your overkill,
Sal,
but on top of
damn.
that, you got some cool things here in terms
Did
of
you play anyone
defensive
good?
kills, offensive
You had
kills,
Ares
also things
and
like the
Mickwin?
Max Spree, which people will
Rich?
be familiar with, but there's some newcomers as
Tell
well.
me that was Hines on
returning
his team,
stats
too,
like
playing
shots
Greg,
hit,
Luda, Cleat, and
versus
her
shots
one.
fired, but also one that you and I were talking about is also damage
Frickin'
taken, which is a cool
bashed
stat
him.
to have.
That's personally my
kills.
favorite because that is like the unsung hero. It tells a real story. Because some players might have the most kills, but they're actually not having the most influence on the map. So damage taken is part of that story where a person could be causing
took a
chaos
lot of
and
damage.
getting shot at from everyone on the opposing team.
I'm gonna
Like
be king
distraction, like,
damage taken.
For example, like Austin might have more kills, but I could be taking more damage because
Sure.
I'm making it easier for him, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And as a commentator, as an analyst,
I'm
the fact
king
that we
bait,
now have a
dude.
piece of
I'll be
that
the bait.
story. If you think of the
Hang me on a
hundreds
hook.
of thousands of hours of competitive
a
Halo
frickin' worm.
gameplay that have taken place, just the fact that we've never really had the story, Andrew, of damage taken and what that was for each match. So the fact that looking at Halo Infinite tournaments, we're going to have stats like that is pretty cool to be able to see
Beautiful.
a piece of a Halo match.
That is
that
interesting.
we've never really had
Damage
the story.
taken, like you can
Yeah,
see
it's
what a
just
diversion
all this
someone's been.
conversation around stats and PGC VCR just kind of makes me really happy because ultimately that's what this is. This
all
this
about
whole
staying
feature
alive,
is
man.
for,
That's
right?
the
Is just tell
key
the
to being
story
good
of
at
the
Halo.
match. Of not only how did you
So I've been
how did you
told.
do, how
I
did your
haven't
team
figured
do,
it
how
out
did
yet.
the enemy team do, right? Where do you need to improve, right? Or how could you have done things better? Really, that whole story is why features like this exist, and so that we're sitting here talking about like nuanced stats and things like that. It's like it's really
Nerdy
good, just
shit.
like being in this moment in time. How
Nerdy
close we
shit.
are to
Let's
launch.
do it.
Totally, yeah. I think it
Yeah,
gets
I'm a
us
nerd.
excited. I'm sure so many viewers as well.
Whatever.
Of this video getting kind of excited about those nuanced little details, just like you say. L-Town, I'll start with you. Any closing words?
Closing
as
thoughts?
we take a look at
Sal?
your gameplay here and show off
L-Town.
competitive ranked gameplay to the world.
Honestly, I'm just excited for everyone to get their hands on this. We worked hard.
Yeah,
and I hope everyone's
I'm
happy with the
excited
settings
too.
we landed on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, likewise. Myself and the rest of the team
I
worked
keep
on this
wanting to
for
call
a
this guy
while. Really
Liam.
excited to
I know
see
that's not his name.
folks.
I don't know why. He
get
looks
their
like a
hands on it,
Liam.
right? The flights have been really exciting for us. Really invigorating for us to see the response and all the feedback. Right. It's the same thing here. We're really excited to see what the competitive community does with this game, with these settings, to see what they're able to accomplish in matches. Right. See what ranked is like. See what HCS is like. All this is just super great right now. It's a good time to be.
I'm
able
so hyped for
Yeah, it
ranked,
is.
man. I
As a
want to
Halo
grind
fan,
a
on
rank
behalf of the
again.
whole community, I just want to
been
thank
so
you both
long
for the
since
amount
I've
of time,
wanted
love,
to.
effort you've put into this game, because it is already showing in the flighting, in the excitement for the game, and it was so special for me to play such a small role in sitting with you two, with all the amount of work you've put into this game to be part of this competitive.
Rob, you
reveal
don't
is
even
really
work
special
there,
for me.
bro.
So thank you both. There's going to be more information on HaloWaypoint.com on competitive settings, and you can find a blog on even more details there. Of course, stay tuned to @Halo on Twitter as well as Halo Waypoint for even more as we get ready.
Any more
of course,
information?
And also at HCS as we get ready for the first Halo tournament shortly after launch as well.
1 week
It's
after
gonna do
launch,
it for
man.
us for now.
That's so
from the
quick for a
343
tourney,
live
but
stream
I'm
studio.
still
It's been a
hyped.
pleasure showing off competitive gameplay, and we'll see you on December 8th.
Let's go. All right, that was dope. I'm hyped for that. All right, guys, so there you have it, man. BR starts, no secondary, no radar, static weapon spawns on a timer. What else we got? I don't know, man. I'm so excited. It's literally everything you could have asked for. No grenade hit markers. Like, the list goes on and on. I'm honestly, like I said, I'm really surprised that they're not going to make us use this sidekick. I thought they were definitely going to make that a secondary, kind of just make it part of the sandbox. I guess it'll be a pickup on the map. We don't really know. I didn't see anyone with it. They had the Mangler out, but maybe the sidekick will be part of it, because that'll definitely be a power weapon, I think, at like close range compared to using the BR, because like I said, the BR is really hard to use at close range. So I don't know. I'm honestly looking into maybe putting a team in for this tournament, showing up and getting my butt blasted. But hey, it'll be fun. I'll get to see some people and just get to play the competitive settings in a tournament setting. Nothing more exciting than that. But I'm excited for the HCS playlist, grinding ranked, trying to get that chant, baby, and going from there. So that's the competitive settings reveal for Halo Infinite. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. Later.